Every time I
Yeah,
see
yo,
Rachel,
motherfucker.
Sam, just do stupid decisions all the time. I get it. Hell, no one does not want to congratulate me on all the good shit I be doing sometimes, you know? Speaking of which, um, dope live stream last night, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, I try to keep it under 4 hours, yo.
Yeah.
That's only because when Ray got on there, he fell asleep, and then I was already done. Like I'm already done talking about Jim Jones. I don't want to talk about Jim Jones no more. Cause he's coming up in the news for the wrong fucking reasons, and not even for his music.
My thing is, he has done a lot of contributions to hip hop, but he's not Nas level. I'm just gonna be real.
He ain't better than Nas. He ain't even better. He ain't even the best one in Dipset. He ain't better than Nas. Where nigga? You smoking drugs?
He's not even the best one in his hood. Fuck it.
You know, you're not even the best one in Harlem. Like, what is he talking about? I'm tired of talking about Jim. Every time I hear about Jim, it's like, we gotta go through this shit again. If he ain't beefing with Cam, it's saying some stupid shit. I'm better than Nas. Where?
I do like his confidence, though. That's all I'm gonna say.
His comments?
His confidence.
His confidence? Well, I mean, you're supposed to have that. You're supposed to have that. Like, yes, like there was a time when yes, like he kept Dipset relevant, and when him and Cam had the falling out again, and that seems to be the a pattern with him. Every couple years, him and Cam fall out. He kept Dipset relevant. You know, when Cam mom got sick and he had to, take some time off, and it was Jim and Bird Gang that was making noise in the streets, and he had to build his own fan base. But you are nowhere near on the level of Nas, not in this lifetime or in the afterlife. The dead artists like Biggie and Pac know that he ain't better than Nas.
Now, Nipsey Hussle knows he's not better than
You know what I'm
Nas.
saying? The artists in the afterlife, their souls know that he ain't better than Nas. You won't be better than Nas even when you're dead.
Also, Brandy and Monica are going on tour together for the first time.
I would love to see them on tour. I never saw them.
Hopefully, I have money by that time to see somebody on tour this year.
Yeah, that's the goal. Not to get in trouble, but to make it to the Brandy and Monica tour.
I actually want to see Diggable Planets in November
Huh?
in DC. I want to see Diggable Planet because they're going to perform at the whole
They were
Blowout
playing.
Home album for the 30th.
Oh, dope. See, now that's a tour I would go to. Also, I never saw them.
Yeah, but if I'm going to have a car, or if I don't have a car repoed by then,
Don't you got friends that have cars?
I don't ask people for rides no more.
Oh, Lord. What?
I
Because you feel like you're gonna have to owe them?
just don't like asking for help. Sometimes is that a bad thing? I mean,
Yes, it is. That's what friends and family is for.
'cause my dad wants to help me out with some finances, and part of me don't want to accept the help.
So you rather struggling to get help from your father.
I didn't say I was going to struggle. I just don't want to always ask people for money or a handout.
You got to be the difficult Negro, huh? That should be your new name, difficult Negro. I love that.
I'll think about it. I'll think about
You said, I mean, I always ask for help. Yeah, exactly. That's what people are there for.
I hate when people be like, "Oh, well, you need help with everything." I don't like dealing with all that drama. But I don't know. If you and Q agree on something, then that means
right?
something to me.
The world must be coming to an end.
Also, I want to give a few rest in pieces to Cedric Yarborough from Yarborough and Peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Calvin,
Huh?
Calvin.
That's what I said, Calvin.
You said Cedric.
Oh shit, Calvin Yarborough. Fucking. I want to give rest in peace to him. I want to give a rest in peace to Walter Scott from the Whispers. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know how much I fuck with the Whispers and shit. You know, so rest in peace to both of them. Um, what else? Who's ready for this new long-awaited Cardi B album and some shit?
You know what I mean? I didn't listen to the first one. Don't care about the new one.
If it actually does come out,
Her, her her legacy will always be the drama and her messy relationship with Offset. Because they don't even talk about her damn music.
right?
She got
I,
like 23 tracks on there. Like they say these kids have a short attention span. You think they'll be listening to that whole album?
if it's good, most of the time, yeah. I mean, if Drake came out with that Scorpion bullshit,
That shit was crap. That was another bad double album. That's what we need to do. We never did a ranking of bad double albums.
yeah, we should do that.
Definitely. That's definitely making the list.
Bad double hip hop albums too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm putting the finishing touches on my project as well. Hopefully, I can get the money for that, just for the marketing and everything.
And you're gonna name the album the Difficult Negro, right?
No, it's going to be called Scandal.
Ah, damn it. But we need that Difficult Negro double album.
Why? Because I don't like to ask for help.
That's the new single. I don't like the actual help.
So everyone's been telling me it's okay to ask for help, but sometimes when I do, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you do it and then they throw it back in your face, that's on them though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Okay, let's start this shit. Actually, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm trying to get some more people to come in. What else is going on? So, so we might have the verdict pretty soon for this puppy case. A lot of charges have been dropped.
I don't. They saying the charges that got dropped wasn't the important ones, so he can still go to jail.
Kidnapping, trafficking, not important. Okay. Hmm.
Well, that's what they're saying, that it wasn't the important charges that they trying to get him on.
So what exactly are they trying to lock his ass up
I
for?
have no idea. At this point, I have no idea. It's
At this
like
point, it's just like,
if you this is what I was telling BJ. I'm like, if you do freak offs and them people were willing, that ain't a crime.
especially Cassie's testimonies was really
You
fucked
know what I'm
up.
saying? And especially her, because it's like it make her look some type of way now because she was like a participant and she was willingly doing that shit.
Yeah, especially that testimony.
You can't tell people how to pleasure their soul. That ain't no crime. But all that other shit, he was like, I don't know, man. At this point, I don't know. I feel like he's going, but if he get off, it wouldn't be the first time a celebrity got off.
Yeah, remember Irv Gotti almost got locked
Yep,
up. Y'all know the rest.
yep. OJ was the biggest one, and we know he killed Nicole.
Yeah, but at the same time too, with OJ, he just got arrested for a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah.
They were just trying
Well,
to.
I mean, the thing with him, look, they got him off. They got him on him trying to take back his own shit. Like he was
Exactly.
he this the Heisman Award is his shit. Like he earned that. He shouldn't have went to jail for that at all. Like that's his shit that he earned in college. How you putting him in jail for that?
I agree. They were just waiting to lock his ass up.
Yeah, they were waiting. They were like any little thing. If he had like a traffic stop, they would have put him in jail for that. But they were just trying to get him.
At that point, I felt sorry for OJ.
Yep. Like that's what you get for marrying a white bitch.
That's what you get for cheating on your black wife.
That's what you get. That's what you get. You want to be with the in crowd? That's what's gonna happen.
I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy Red in the building. I got my homeboy trying to build it with me. How you doing, Try?
Chilling.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to have done this on a Sunday, but we both had crap we had to handle and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, better late than never. Whatever the fuck that phrase is. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So this is part three of our top 100 cartoons of all time. You know what I'm saying? We right now at 50 to 26. I'm just gonna be real with you all. The first two episodes was just the appetizers. Now we really getting into the nitty gritty shit. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
cartoon that very influential, very groundbreaking and stuff like that. We about to really, really, really show y'all why we love cartoons in the first place with this episode and stuff like that too. With these next two episodes. So
Hmm.
number 50, we're gonna go to the Hanna Barbera train and everything. A lot of people have said that this was pretty much their best cartoon during like the 80s, because you know Hanna Barbera in like the late 70s to 80s was kind of going through like a period, but this was like their bread and butter. And if you guys know this cartoon, and you guys know it's the Smurfs. Um, what can I say about the Smurfs, man? I mean, this show ran on NBC from 1981 to 1989, like pretty much the whole of the 80s and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everyone knows about this show. The theme song, la 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 la
La
la
la la la la la la la.
la 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 la. I remember when I first watched this, it used to come on like a UPN early in the
Really?
morning.
Oh
This
wow.
is back after the show ran and stuff like that, because I didn't get into the show
Right.
till like the early 2000s.
Okay.
I said to myself, it was just one of those shows that it was just pleasantly. It was such a pleasant welcome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the voice cast he had is pretty much, you had hella motherfucker like Jonathan Winters, who was Papa Smurf and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people did voice casting for this show. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the Smurfette, the only girl Smurf and shit like that too, which kind of raises a lot of eyebrows what they be doing around that time. But that's another story for a different day. You had the Brainy Smurf. Oh my god, I know a lot of people hated Brainy Smurf and shit. Hefty Smurf, Grouchy Smurf, Horny Smurf, Killer Smurf. Like all
Killer
these
Smurf.
names,
I don't know that one.
I'm just making shit up at this point. But then they were trying to get away from this villain. What was the villain's name? Groffle,
Gargamel.
Gargamel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that the only white man in that fucking land and shit like that. Like, imagine being the only
Mhm.
white man trying to get some blue motherfuckers and shit like that. What? Come on, man. Like, but yeah, yeah. This show right here, very dope show. One of my favorite Hanna Barbera shows from that period, because in the '80s, Hanna Barbera they were just so busy doing Scooby Doo spinoffs and then younger versions of their cartoons and shit. You know what I'm saying? This was just like a pleasant surprise. So won a lot of daytime Emmys and shit.
Did
You
it?
know, yeah. This Smurfs was
Wow.
popular as hell. Shit. Hell, it was even referenced in the Cosby Show one time.
Yeah. It definitely was.
Imagine the biggest motherfuckers on NBC was Papa Smurf and Bill Cosby. Just imagine that.
Mm. So, but have you seen Papa Smurf? You look like a molester. But that's a
Shut up.
different story. That's a different story.
Shut up,
There's a
dude.
reason why they call him Papa. So you know, and Gargamel, that was Buju Banton's nickname, Gargamel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he called himself. So he definitely watched a lot of Smurfs back in Jamaica.
He looked like he loves cartoons and shit.
You know, number 50, I got Tiny Toon Adventures,
Ooh,
Babs and Buster Bunny, and they reminded me so much of Looney Tunes. It was like watching little Looney Tunes, you
yeah,
know, and having like that whole Steven Spielberg, you know, series with Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and
yes.
you know, it was good times. It was definitely a good show in the afternoons, and um, Baskin Robbins actually made an ice cream flavor after the show. That's how popular it was.
Ooh,
A- and it was, I think it was Tiny Toon Crunch, or it was some flavor they made at Baskin Robbins. It only ran for a limited time, and yeah, like that's a show that we grew up watching in the afternoons and on Fox, you know, and it was great.
I'm gonna say my thoughts on Tiny Toons probably for the next episode. But in
Yeah.
my opinion, they did that. Let's make these cartoon characters younger, the
Mhm.
best. But it, even like that trope, they added
Right.
something different. To these characters like Buster, Babs, Plucky, Hampton,
Yeah.
Montana Max. Come on, man! Like the voice acting
But,
on that show. Oh
but Plucky was like Porky Pig. That was like another version of Porky.
no, that was Hampton. Plucky was another version of Daffy.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I still watch those Steven Spielberg cartoons to this day, man. Those the writing on that show and the anime. You know what? Let me save my thoughts because I'm gonna
Hmm.
let me save my thoughts. All right. Number 49. Disney came back in this episode and shit like that. I know the last episode I didn't have a lot of Disney cartoons, but this Disney cartoon was pretty much a different show when it came to the whole superhero. The '90s superhero nation is Darkwing Duck. This show ran for 3 seasons from 1991 to 1992. Um, I think it was on like the Disney Afternoon for like its first 2 seasons, and then it was hold on, I think it was syndicated the first 2 seasons. Then it was on ABC, and because they had to have that 65 episode syndication and shit like that too. So once it was on ABC,
Yeah.
that's when the whole 13 episodes and some shit. Kind of confusing though, but
It was.
it is. Yeah, but yeah, Darkwing Duck. This was a very groundbreaking show when it came to Disney, and I'm gonna tell you why. It was really like one of those first superhero shows that kind of poked fun at the superhero genre. Like this was before Freakazoid, before the Tick, and mind you, this was Disney, the Good Nature Company, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And to
Mhm.
have an egotistical superhero, that was kind of bold for Disney. And the thing about this show that I loved was like the dude named Darkwing Duck and everything like that too. He is trying to be a superhero, but he's also adopted this girl named Gosling. Yo, Gosling, one of the best Disney characters ever. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think the show's a spin-off of DuckTales because it had Launchpad in the show as a sidekick, but it's not. It's actually in a different alternate universe. They just loved ducks at that time and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love first of all the theme song, Darkwing Duck. Let's get it. I mean, come on, man. Darkwing Duck was one of the illest shows for the Disney afternoon. Why isn't this show not a Kingdom Hearts stage? I don't understand. If they do a new Kingdom Hearts, I want to see some like Disney afternoon, like Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, and shit like that too. Imagine Darkwing Duck and Sora just kicking ass with some heart some shit.
Crazy.
That would be crazy. I don't
Yeah.
understand why we had how we had a frozen stage before Darkwing Duck. I don't understand though, but
I don't
hey,
get that either.
I don't. And I love Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'm just like that frozen stage kind of pissed off got on my nerves and shit. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? Throwing snowballs? Come on, what the fuck? Come on. But yeah, I think Ray Charles, yeah, it had a more. I want to say it was dark, like Batman animated series, but it had a more edgy tone. And I feel like with shows like Batman animated series, kind of owes a little bit to Darkwing Duck, a little bit, just for the style of the show, but it still kept that Disney comedic tone. So yeah, I fuck with this show. Don't fuck
All
with
right, number 49 is a show that I want to say it was on FX. But I saw it on streaming, but it was on one of those cable networks. It's called Little Demon,
oh
and it's starring Danny DeVito. Yes, the Penguin, Danny DeVito, and
Louis.
his daughter, huh?
You'll always be Louis to me.
Yes, Louis from your favorite show that I can't stand,
That's
and
it.
his daughter, and they were doing the voices of the devil and the devil's offspring, and it was about the devil hooked up with this woman. They had sex. They had a kid. The kid ended up being a little demon, which is his daughter. She has powers like him, and the his her father and the mother like estranged. They're like an estranged you know used to be couple, and she's like at an age in her teenage years where she's trying to get to know her dad, and she realizes her dad is the devil, and a lot of interesting adventures happened in the show. It was like a more mature tune animated series, and I want to say it ran for like maybe one season. I've only seen one season, so if there's a season two, I didn't see it, but it came out like during the pandemic, and him and his daughter was actually on. I think they were on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yeah,
They were on the Jimmy Kimmel show promoting the animated series, and that's like the only time I've seen them like promoted. So I thought it was a decent show, and you got to get my attention at this point. Like if it's a tune that's that the story's interesting and it's funny, then you got to really grab my attention. A lot of these other tunes out here are not funny, and they're just boring. But I actually thought it was a good little show.
a lot of these fucking tunes, they try so hard to have a fucking agenda. That's what made me fall
Yeah,
off.
it's like they all trying to follow the formula of Family Guy and American Dad, and a lot of them fail.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that they try so hard to push an issue like homo LGBTQ
Yeah,
and the Trump. It's just like I don't mind that, but that's why I don't like shows like Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, overrated shows and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
they have shows like that on Netflix. They have animated shows for that community and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like an animated show needs to be touching on subjects like that.
That's
Unless they're making it more for like adults. If they're making it for like the adult crowd, then that's one thing. But I don't think kids need to know about what's a lesbian and all that. You know what I mean?
right.
Let them be kids.
However, there was one show that kind of did it right that didn't push for an agenda, but I'm gonna get into that in this episode.
Mm,
Um, I might need to check that. Show. You said it's called Little Demon.
yeah.
All right. So number 48, we're gonna go back to Hanna Barbera. Um, this might be one of their probably their first popular cartoon and stuff like that too. Huckleberry Hound.
Mm.
Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling. You know what I'm saying? My man Huckleberry Hound. This was a lot of people think this was their first cartoon. This was actually their second cartoon. The first cartoon was a show called The Rough and Ready Show, which I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's kind of but Huckleberry Hound ran from 1958 to 1961. Yeah, we get into the 50s now and shit. We get into the pioneers of this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, Huckleberry Hound. It's not even just Huckleberry Hound. You had some of the first appearances from people like Pixie and Dixie, Mr. Jinx, and of course, Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, which I talked about Yogi Bear in the previous episode and shit. Um, Very dope cartoon. This cartoon I want to say was the first cartoon to win an Emmy, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Which was a lot of people think it was Flintstones. No, it was Huckleberry Hound and shit. This was a show that really made Hanna Barbera a household name and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very cool show, very funny show, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, that's number 48, Huckleberry.
48, I got Alvin and Chipmunks. We did a series review on this show, and Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and yeah, the dad. What was the dad's name again? I forgot the dad's name.
Um, damn, Steven. I think it's
I'm
that
about, I'm
Steven.
about to say Mark or some shit. That was some fucking shit he had. But yeah, he was. He took them in and gave them a home and watched them grow up, and they got into all type of trouble, and you had they'd had like animated films, and very very young. I was like 4 years old, I think, when they were out. So
So, are you talking about the '60s or the '80s version? Just
the
for clear.
80s, the 80s
Okay,
one.
I just
Yeah,
clear. Um, that's dope. That's dope.
this is all an 80s 90s list for me. This is only like maybe two or three from the 2000s. Like I mentioned Pokemon on like one of the other shows, and this is mostly 80s and 90s for me.
I feel you. Yeah, with me, I went from 30s to present, man. I watch a hella
Yeah,
cartoon.
I see.
Yeah. Number 47. I got to go back to my Disney bag with this one. Chip and Dale, rescue us. Oh my god, man. Yo, these Disney afternoon theme songs, man. They be I don't know these. They be some bops. Like I love the theme song. Sometime, somewhere. But these two, I mean, come on, man. Just like the Miller Boyette theme songs, man. They were just they think they so whimsical. They seem like there's no they was singing like rent was due. That's all I'm gonna
Mhm.
say. But what about the cartoons? So Chip and Dale, the two troublemaking chipmunks that was terrorizing my man Donald Duck. They actually have a show, Magnum PI and Indiana Jones, if you ask me. um, this show ran for 3 seasons from 1989 to 1990. It aired the first season the Disney Channel back when it was the Disney Channel. Then the last 2 seasons on syndication and stuff like that too. Cause you had to meet that 65 episode deadline and shit.
Mhm.
So yeah, so Chip and Dale got a rescue rangers crew and stuff like that, solving crimes and everything like that too. They're joined by people like Monterey Jack, Gadget. You know what I'm saying? I mean, very, very, very fun show. Feel good show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nominated for a couple of Emmys and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this show and Ducktales were really the shows that really put the Disney afternoon block on the map. If you ask me, I know they came out with a movie years ago, which the movie was surprisingly decent and everything like that too. But it was like the best thing since sliced bread. But it was surprisingly decent. I just wish they would actually do a full on cartoon movie than just live action mixed with live action CGI. I don't know. I know Disney say now they're trying to do 2D movies now. Again, I don't have no issue with that as long as it's dope. I don't want no
Right.
see no reboots where that like that Lilo and Stitch reboot where they just pretty much just trash the whole cartoon and
Mhm.
stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a different day.
All right. I got 47 Teen
I know I was
Titans.
born.
Huh?
I know I was born you with that young. I was just joking with you.
Teen Titans. I got that. The dark version, not that goofy cartoon shit they were doing on cartoon on Adult Swim. I didn't like that version at all. The OG Teen Titans, when it was real dark, and it was all about the action, and they were going at Slade, which Slade turned out to be I think Raven's dad. Like, she found out that was her dad or whatever, and you had like, it was like the mini Justice League. You had Cyborg, who was actually a part of the Justice League, with Robin and Beast Boy and Raven and Starlight or whatever her name is, and Definitely enjoyed it. The live action show was just as good. Definitely, they need to bring that back. But that was like one of the few shows on the CW that I actually enjoyed.
Right. Mm. I'm gonna say my. I got Teen Titans on this episode, so I'm gonna say my.
Yeah, 2003 version, not that Teen Titans Go bullshit. I didn't like that at all.
So my number 46 is gonna be the most controversial pick on this episode because a lot of people want this cartoon to be in the top 10. I'm gonna be real with you. I have reason. It's SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, before everyone gets mad saying, "What SpongeBob's not in your top 20? What SpongeBob? What?" You
I
know,
never watched it, so I didn't.
let me
I
explain.
know, never watched it.
I like SpongeBob Square. I like this show. I might as well love it. But my love for the show only regulates to the first three seasons, maybe four seasons, depending on how I feel that day. Anything after season four is an embarrassment to cartoons, if you ask me. Well, let me not say that because the season where Steven Hillenburg came back, I think it was like season 10, the season he did before he passed away. That had some decent episodes, but then he died, and then it just became crap again. So SpongeBob to me, I love SpongeBob. It's a show about a sponge named Bob. Well, a sponge named SpongeBob. Let me say that. Living life and shit like that. He has a best friend named Patrick Star. He likes to harass his neighbor named Squidward and stuff like that. You know, he loves the jellyfish. But here's the thing about SpongeBob. It's pretty much Rocco's modern life in the sea. It's gonna be if you watch the first season of SpongeBob and you watch the first season of Rocco's modern life, very parallel styles. But then when it came to season two, they found their own rhythm and everything like that. The pacing was more faster, dialogue was more faster. Like watch a season two episode of SpongeBob, then watch season one episode of SpongeBob and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like the adult humor, the style of the show and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then they had that SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I love the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and we thought, oh damn, they're gonna end the show like this and everything. So everything was going good, but then they came back. Paul Tibbett came and ran the show, and the rest is downhill. It's just like I don't know, cause the show just got more. The characters got more weirder. It's like the show now they're so focused on just making memes with every animation, and a lot of these cartoons now, they try so hard to have that meme
Mhm.
style and stuff like that. Like let's just
Yeah,
let's just let's just have their face like this so we can make a meme out of it. And SpongeBob and Arthur were two of the most memed cartoons in history and everything. Once SpongeBob got more popular with the memes, the animators try to do all these weird things with their faces and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some episodes, some scenes, and some. I just scroll on social media. I saw one scene where Plankton was looking at this girl's ass and he was licking his lips and shit. I'm looking at myself like, what the fuck? This shit, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the first three, maybe four seasons, if it was just those seasons, that show might have been in my top 10. But there's one other Nicktoon I feel like had a similar downfall, but I'm gonna save that for this episode. Y'all gonna be very surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. And you say you never watched SpongeBob?
never seen it.
Oh wow.
Nope. I have little younger cousins that watched it. They grew up on that. Them niggas had like I think was it Burger King? What one of them fast food outlets had like a SpongeBob Chatty Patty burger, Krabby Patty burger.
I think it was Burger King.
Yeah, that
I
was
heard
last year. I saw like so many different like food blogs doing reviews on that shit. I'm like, oh, y'all fucking kidding me? Y'all actually spent money. A grown ass motherfucker actually spent money, went to Burger King and bought a Krabby Patty and did a review on it.
I might as well just make my own Krabby Patty. Fuck that.
Crazy, you know. Yeah, number 46 is the new Archies. This is like around the time I started like reading Archie comics. With Archie. and Jughead and Betty Veronica and that whole crew. And they had their animated show on NBC, on Saturday mornings, and it was good. I definitely enjoyed it. It didn't last long. I did like the live act. Well, not the live action, the live show, the Riverdale. I did enjoy that until they canceled it. But it's nothing like the actual comics and the animated show that was good.
You know, I've never actually known about the Archies until like years ago. I never actually seen the cartoon.
Yeah.
I know
Hmm.
that I know that they were like a music group, kind of like the California Raisins, kind of.
Cool. Archie.
Yeah, they had a honey, honey, honey. That they did that song.
Well, Archie in the Riverdale show, Archie was a musician. Like he sang songs and he played the guitar, but I don't remember him doing that shit in the cartoon.
Cause wasn't Josie and the Pussycats based on the Archies or some shit?
Yeah, they were like they um they were like the off off side project. They had Josie. She went to Riverdale. Her character was actually on the show, and then like she was doing music, and then she had her band, but they didn't focus too much on them. It was more about Archie and Betty and Veronica.
Understandable. All right. Number 44. You want to know why Cartoon Network was so dope in the 90s? I mean, excuse me, in the 2000s? Because of this show, Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack ran from 2001 into 2004, but then it was brought back for the final season in 2017. Yo, nigga, nigga. Before I even get started with this show, man, this was the show that took the Bruce Lee style mixed with some black exploitation shit. That's how you got Samurai Jack, in my opinion. So pretty much it's a story about how this prince, this Japanese prince and stuff like that, he got transported and stuff like that in the future or some shit, and he has to defeat the villain Aku. And he has to go with some like Homer's Odyssey kind of quest or some shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was just made by the same dude that made Dexter's Laboratory, Jetty Tartakovsky, if I'm saying his name right. And he has it's spoiler alert, there's gonna be some more of his shit in these next couple of episodes, his stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this show was very dope and everything. The animation was good. Some of the episodes had limited dialogue, which I fucking loved. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the show won plenty of Emmys and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the time I think it won outstanding, like hella Emmys, hella Annie awards and stuff like that too. If you're a new show, you be shows like The Simpsons, yeah, you something's good with you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, I haven't actually saw a lot of the final season and stuff like that too, because at that time I was in college and shit like that. I seen some of it. It was pretty dope. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on the final season. This might be one show I might definitely do a review on in the future. Samurai Jack.
Number 45, I got Harvey Birdman,
Ooh,
classic, classic, very underrated superhero, and you know this is like before he did Attorney at Law, that series, and he had like his own cartoon from back in the day with Thunder the Barbarian, and I do love the Attorney at Law because they brought him back and they modernized him, and it was an actual funny show, and that was like the favorite shit that was my favorite shit to watch on Adult Swim was her Attorney at Law. So they need to bring that back.
no, they should just leave it where it is
Leave it
because
the way it is.
Yeah, I feel like it was just perfect for the early 2000s. They bring it back. They're gonna have all these weird animations and shit. Like Teen Titans good animation now. I feel like it was perfect for that
But you
period.
can there's shows that they can do good animation. It's just that I feel like a lot of the shows now the animation is just off, and maybe that's what the young kids like. They like the zany animated shit. I don't care for it.
Yeah. Now I'm going back to Disney. I gotta go back to Disney. This low key maybe top five Disney cartoons of all time. Ah, man, I get a lot of nostalgia just thinking about this show. Is Recess. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I love this show, man. This ran from 97 to 2001, but it had plenty of other like specials that ran throughout the 2000s and stuff. Man, Recess. Where do I begin with this show? Like, first of all, this was created by Paul Germain and Joe Ensolabier. Paul Germain, one of the best people in anime. If you guys know about Paul Germain, he's one of the few cat. He's the cat that really made Rugrats what it was and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? More on that later. This show pretty much tells a story about the society in the school and all these six cats named TJ, Vince, Spinelli, Mikey, Gretchen, and Gus. They literally ran the whole fucking school, man. Like coming out with scams just to get out of trouble, pranks against the teachers, man. Like TJ Detweiler was one of the best cartoon protagonists in history. One of the realest motherfuckers ever on that show. You know what I'm saying? Just it was just like an us against them mentality, like kids against the adults. But the way they did it, man, they didn't make the adults the bad guys, like shows like Kids Next Door. They made the adults as multi-dimensional as the kids too, like Miss Finster, Mr. Preakley, um, Miss Grokey, the woke teacher who was always talking about communism. A lot of that shit she was teaching about went through my heads when I was little and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, this show right here, man. And even if you watch like the first maybe two seasons, it does kind of have like a Rugrats kind of feel to it on some aspects. But I feel like in the later seasons, they definitely found its rhythm and shit like that. I feel like it's definitely one of the more consistent shows. Like when it came to that Saturday morning Disney block. It also ran on UPN later on in this run too, and shit like that. It was one of those cartoons that sometimes one season ran on ABC, next minute it went on UPN, then it went back to ABC. And it was I don't know why they were doing Disney was doing stupid shit like that. Just keep it on one fucking channel, man. God damn, man. Like shit. I just
Yeah.
get I just get shit about these shows. Oof.
44 got a show called Hoops on Netflix and was dealing with basketball and adult humor and well, I think I watched like the first season. I didn't watch the other seasons after, but it's pretty good. The animation is pretty cool. Yeah,
You said it's called Hoops.
yeah.
Hmm. Is that show with them? Are they black?
It's about a basketball team.
Is it a black basketball team?
They have white people on. They have white players on basketball teams, right?
No, I know, but I was thinking I was thinking of a show. I think I was thinking about the wrong show. That's I know they have white people
Oh,
in basketball.
what
They
what show was you thinking about?
I think it Brickleberry. It was a Comedy Central show. It had a black dude with an afro. It only ran for like one season. I thought you were talking about that.
Maybe it's that I don't know because I don't watch. I only watched like I haven't seen shit on Comedy Central in years actually. So maybe it did run on there and then it went to Netflix.
I know Ray Sean probably knows. He's a
Yeah,
cartoon encyclopedia and shit.
yeah. It was like the basketball team was like a bunch of like misfits and the coach had issues and
Yeah. All right. Gotta go back to my Nick bag. Nickelodeon. This might be the most controversial Nicktoon of the 2000s. Let me say that. Invader Zim. This is a show that motherfuckers were not ready for and shit. A show that possibly inspired a murder. Stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you explain this? This show ran from 2001 to 2002, and it came back for a little bit in 2006. How do you explain Invader Zim? Okay, so it shows about an alien named Zim who pretty much came on Earth for a fucking mission to suck all the species and some shit like that too. Um, it's a weird fucking show, but you know what? It was dope as fuck. I haven't seen this show in years. I've seen. I mean, I watched the show at I remember when I first watched it. It was just like, damn, Nickelodeon was definitely going crazy with this shit, and they didn't know how to promote this show. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the time when SpongeBob. Every Nicktoon had to have a SpongeBob theme. Oh, that's SpongeBob was like the Mickey Mouse of Nickelodeon and shit like that. And pretty much, ironically, there was this show kind of had like some controversy because apparently it allegedly inspired a murder and stuff like that too. I think this motherfucker from what I looked up tried to kill this person. I have to actually I'm looking it up right now and stuff like that. It was this one episode called like Dark Harvest, right? And that episode kind of got banned from the network and shit because of this incident. And pretty much what had happened was this dude named Scott Daleski was inspired by this episode, and he wanted to. I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, you have to look it up for yourselves and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I feel like even if I explain, I'm not going to give it justice. But this show definitely, if you're expecting Jimmy Neutron, Fairly Odd Parents, you're not going to get that with this show. Like this is like what Are You Afraid of the Dark wanted to be, what Goosebumps wanted to be. This is a show like that.
Okay.
I know Try's like, this nigga's crazy.
Yeah. Um, I got number 43, the Ghostbusters, the bootleg version with the monkey on the one I used to come on WB.
Oh wow.
Uh, it was cool. It was real confusing as a kid, like trying to understand like why is there two different versions of Ghostbusters on TV? We got Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters, which came on Saturday mornings, then we got Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters, which came on the weekdays, and then we got the other Ghostbusters show that don't have Slimer in it. So I didn't understand that. I think we covered that when we did the Ghostbusters week and all that,
Yeah,
and it was okay. It was cool. I didn't understand like where did the other Ghostbusters crew come from, and why they have a talking monkey. You know
you
what I
feel
mean?
me?
And it was like real. I still don't understand why they had two different Ghostbusters, but I did watch it, and it was okay. It wasn't like the real one was like the best one.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. Number 42. I'm going to the kids WB with this motherfucker right here. Um, this is one superhero show that I feel like is severely underrated. Well, not underrated, but now it's getting more respect. But I feel like it went over a lot of people's heads when it came out. It's Static Shock. You know what I'm saying? I mean, classic show that ran from 2000 to 2004. You know what I'm saying? Before Black Panther was Static Shock, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker named Virgil Hawkins. He's a 14-year-old boy, you know what I'm saying, who lives with his sister and his father. He attends high school, but then he's also a superhero named Static Shock. This show right here, very, very, very impressive show. I feel like this show definitely had the WB on its necks and stuff like that too, because the DC universe, the Batman, the animated series, the Superman, the Justice Leagues, and everything like that. They always took it. above the level of superhero shows, and Static Shock was no exception to that rule. If you ask me, I mean, there was episodes about school shootings, racism, and stuff like that. And just like a lot of the DC shows and stuff like that, not a lot of episodes have the happy dappy endings and stuff like that. And this is kind of why I kind of prefer DC over Marvel. So, sorry, I'm sorry, but hey, fuck it. Phil Lamar, man, the voice actor Phil Lamar, Kevin Michael Richardson, Jason Marsden, Michelle Moore, Kadeem Hardison, Dwayne Wayne was on the show. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, man, like this show right here, definitely a classic show. They've been trying to bring the show back for years. I say no, don't do it. No, 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 no. Don't do it. No, do not touch this show. Leave it the way it is.
Yeah. 42, I got the Centurions. Um, they're definitely a underrated cartoon that came on like weekday mornings on Fox. They had a toy line for it. It was just like another action show with guys that dressed up in like wetsuits and they could fly with missiles, and it was dope. It was dope. Definitely slept on. You know,
Dope pick, dope pick.
wasn't
You
wasn't wasn't they doing a Static Shock movie with Nick Cannon?
They were talking about that, but Nick got too many kids right now. He has to focus on
Yeah,
his children and shit.
right. When would he have time to
how
do
you
it?
how you forget the name of your own kids, man? What the fuck wrong with this motherfucker? Yeah. Um, my number 41. You talked about the show in the past. I'm still gonna
Mm,
keep it in the DC universe. Is Teen Titans,
yes,
the OG.
LG.
This show ran from 2003 to 2006. It ran simultaneously on Kids WB and Cartoon Network. You know what I'm saying? This is the badass Robin I like. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
badass Robin.
yeah,
The, now, granted, the Robin in the new Batman adventure, the Batman animated series, New Batman Adventures, when he became Nightwing, he was
yeah.
cool too. But
He
this
was
Robin
good.
right here, oh
Hmm.
man, oh nigga, where
Yep.
do I begin with this show? Like, it pretty much is talking about these teens and everything like that too, solving crimes and everything. Again, it still has a us against them mentality and shit, but
Hmm.
show definitely got more deeper and darker as the show went on. Like the last season is probably my favorite season on the show. But I hated how they ended the show with that episode. I mean, and y'all know what episode I'm talking about and shit, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, this show right here definitely was like ahead of its time when it came to like its animation and just the styling of the show and everything like that too, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to join the sentiments everyone says about the show. Fuck Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
I don't consider that canon. You know what
Me
I'm saying?
neither.
Like no, I don't
And
like I
they
don't
did a whole movie for that.
right. But we couldn't get a movie of this show. That's crazy.
Right. Exactly. Well, they gave us the live action show. And in this live action show, they did have Robin gradually go from Robin to Nightwing. Like he did make that transition because they covered like the Killing Joke, which was like one of the best Batman stories all time in the comics, and they brought on another Robin in the show. So once they brought on the other Robin, they had the OG Robin go turn into Nightwing. Dick Grayson, he turned into Nightwing. So he did start off as Robin in the show, and then by the end of Teen Titans, he became Nightwing.
Right.
Yep. Number 41, I got Fred Albert, Bill Cosby, great show. I definitely enjoyed this growing up and watching it, and one of the very few black cartoons that we had. And I want to say Kim on Fox back in the '80s as well, and it was dope. They had a movie for it. Was it Keenan Thompson played Fred Albert
Yeah.
in that movie, and I remember when that came out, and yeah, man, we I don't know. I felt like they need to do a remake for this.
Mm,
No, you don't want a remake for this,
no, I feel like the movie was a well-deserved cap off their legacy,
right?
and especially with what happened with Bill Cosby. I don't know if niggas want to see a Fat Album reboot. I'm sorry.
Not I mean not the movie, like the actual cartoon.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Now, if they did a reboot in the 2000s with that animation in the movie,
Mm,
oh, that would have been fire. Because that was the best looking Fat Album I've ever seen. That movie. That was probably my favorite part of the movie was the animated parts. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that animation was so clean. I was like,
Hmm.
yo, like, don't give me the Fat Album movie. Keenan Thompson, he was cool as Fat Album, but the movie was just
Yeah.
I didn't want, I didn't care for Doris. Let's have make friends for Doris. Then it was like come on, Omarion really Omarion.
Wow.
Hell, even when Bill Cosby came in the movie, I did like the scene when Fat Albert and Bill Cosby met and shit. That was funny as hell.
Facts.
Now we in the top 40.
Hmm.
Now, remember how I said there was a similar Nicktoon that kind of had a similar downfall to SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Controversial pick. Controversial pick. I gotta go with the Rugrats for number 40.
Mm.
Now, let's talk about the good of the Rugrats. This was pretty much Nickelodeon's bread and butter before SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
It ran from 1991 to 2004, and it now is has the reboot now. But I don't like the reboot. I'm gonna be real with you.
Mhm.
So this was one of the first three Nicktoons alongside Doug and Ren and Stimpy. It pretty much takes the Muppet Babies formula, but this time while the Muppet Babies mostly was doing a lot of parodies, Rugrats focused more on like the character based nature on the babies.
Mm.
This was created by Klasky Supo, but it was also created by Paul Germain. Yes, that Paul Germain from Recess. And I'm gonna talk about a lot. I love this show because it was like laid back and very gentle and everything. I definitely feel like it hit its stride in the second season and stuff like that. Like I said, just like SpongeBob, the first season was more slower, more calmer, but in the second season they upped the ante on like the adult jokes and then the faster pace and everything like that too. And behind the scenes, that was kind of what was disruptive between Arlene Klasky, Gaba Supo, and Paul Germain. Because you got to remember, Klasky Supo were a married couple, and Klasky and Jermaine, they did not get along because Paul Germain was very influenced by The Simpsons. And he wanted the Rugrats to have more of like that Simpson style humor. But Klasky, she pretty much she pretty much wanted the babies to be babies and stuff like that too. And also, she didn't like the character of Angelica because she felt like Angelica was like a devil and
Right.
evil and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mind you, this is all facts. All this shit is facts and stuff. And Paul Germain left because ironically, Rugrats actually ended after the third season. Once it hit that 65 episode mark. However, they had specials like the Passover special, the Mother's Day, and everything like that too. And pretty much it was brought back. But Paul Germain was not present in the fourth season onward. And this is where the downfall of Rugrats happened because depending on how I feel, just like SpongeBob, the fourth season can be hit or miss because it has some okay episodes, but then it has some episodes. But then the babies started acting like babies, and then they brought in Dill, and then they had a couple movies, and then it just became soft. Like the adult humor wasn't really there like that. That's why with Rugrats, I kind of prefer the first three, maybe four seasons, just like SpongeBob. It's kind of ironic because both SpongeBob and Rugrats had very similar rises and downfall. Because really Rugrats didn't really become popular until after the first three seasons because Nickelodeon's bread and butter, ironically, was Ren and Stimpy. But once John K was busy doing what he was doing and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Stay tuned on Ren and Stimpy. Then Rugrat, then that's when the creators and stuff, that's when they were focused on Rugrats and shit, you know. But that's my number 40.
40, I got The Mask, Jim
Ooh,
Carrey, based on the hit movie he did, the animation show. I think that was on what, on ABC that came on.
yeah,
And yeah, that was dope. I remember watching that, back in the day, and definitely enjoyed it, man. And at that time, they were making cartoons out of everything. So if you had a hit movie, more than likely you would have had a cartoon to go with it. And that's what they
right.
did with this.
But Eddie Murphy never really
Mm.
had a cartoon back in the day.
Nah,
That,
he,
that
he should have had one, but he was his stuff was adult though.
oh come
But
on, man. The
if
mask
they
was
if
not
they if they did Beverly, I mean, technically, if you look at it, they could probably do a Beverly Hills Cop show right now in this era.
true.
It would they put it on Adult Swim, but they couldn't do that back in the day. Golden Child maybe because it was sci-fi horror, but other than that, he did a lot of adult humor.
Right. All right. So my number 39. Ironically, this show is being rebooted right now as we speak. It's actually, fuck it. I'm just gonna say it's King of the Hill.
Mm.
Now, this show originally ran from '97 to 2009, and it ran for one more season in syndication in 2010. Now they're trying to bring the show back for Hulu and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of crazy. Now I'm gonna be real with you. When I this show growing up, I didn't love it as much as like a Simpsons or Family Guy. I felt like it was a bit more quieter compared, but that was like the old hell. Even Beavis and Butthead, which Mike Judge also worked on and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But that was pretty much the ordeal when it came to King of the Hill. You know what I'm saying? It was just about the simple blue collar lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Hank, Hank, Peg, and Bobby. Hank trying to get to know his son more and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this show definitely was one of the Fox's most successful shows, and it even was very popular in syndication as well too. A lot of classic characters came from the show, like Hank Hill, Peggy, Bobby, Dale. Rest in peace to John Hardrick and stuff like that too. Also, rest in peace to that. I'm gonna fuck up his name. The dude that the Indian that the Native American that recently passed away. I forgot his name, but I'm gonna pull it up in a minute. I know somebody's gonna correct me in the comment section, but yeah, man, King of the Hill. Oh, I didn't even show it. King of Hill, not a bad show. You know what I'm saying? Now this reboot, I don't know how this reboot's gonna be. We'll see, cause Hulu they kind of messed up on the Animaniacs reboot, which I don't want to say messed up, but it wasn't really the same. I just don't want no agendas and bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Number 39 is Gem and the Holograms. If y'all remember Gem, a cartoon that was about two feuding rock bands, all girl groups that you know showed their rise to fame and the the jealousy and the animosity and what people do to get to the top of the industry and all of that was covered in that show and having Gem and her band, the Holograms, and they had like an AI talking computer named Synergy that would like gave them like advice, and she would give them like instruments and wardrobe changes, and you had the Misfits, who was like the bad girl punk rock band that they were always feuding with Jim, and they had, I think, Eric was like their sleazy manager, and there was a lot going on for a cartoon You know, back then there was a lot going on in that cartoon, and you know, she dealt with love and breakups, and she had like her own songs. And I remember like one of my cousins. She was when she was younger. She was always watching that cartoon and singing along with the songs and all that. And I just thought it was with the stories that they had on that show was just very. I felt like it was very dramatic for a cartoon that for kids to be watching at that age. But it was a huge show on uh well, was it WB? It wasn't WB just yet. It was WPIX when it was on, and then it went to became WB, and then CW and all that. But it definitely had a following. And then they had that terrible Gem movie that came out a couple years ago. I never watched it. I heard it was bad though.
Yeah, it was bad.
Huh?
It was horrible.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. That's why just the look of it, the trailer. I remember seeing the trailer. I'm like, yeah, this looks bad.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. Gem. I remember I used to watch that show a little bit. I,
Yeah.
I love the animation. Like that. Honestly, I remember back in the day, they used to show a lot of '80s cartoons late at night, and I don't know, just
Hmm.
watching that animation late at night, I just have a lot of great memories of that shit.
Right. Yeah.
And
It was just very. It wasn't your regular cartoon for kids. It was dealing with like a lot of adult like drama, like you know what I'm saying, like stuff that bands go through.
right,
And it was almost like, and even like the score of the music, like I want to say like the same type of score they had is what GI Joe had for their cartoon. It was very dramatic. It was, what I'm saying, like that, but it wasn't an action cartoon. That, what I'm saying, even though like they got into certain trouble here and there, but when you look back on it now, like the kids was watching this show. I'm like, did they even understand what was going on?
right. It just went
Like
over the
like you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like just with the whole, like with both rock bands, showing their rise to fame, and it was like, and what they'll do, to like by any means necessary just to get to the top and be famous. It was just like a very heavy cartoon for kids of that, back in the 80s. I just, what I'm saying, it was very different.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like with shows like that, it kind of broke down the barriers for like Sailor Moon, if you ask me. I don't know
right.
why. That girl power kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, right. That, and he had like the girl power part of it as well. You know what I'm saying? But it just, like, looking back on it, it was like and I guess part of it is reality too, like just showing like what rock bands went through, dealing with like you might have like jealous members in the band that they want to go solo, and there's an issue with that, and the shiesty managers on tour, and it was just a lot going on that show.
Right. Yeah, man. Okay, so we're literally about an hour in, so I'm gonna try to go through this list as quickly as I can. Not as quickly. I'm still gonna give elaborate opinions, but yeah, man. I think we can still make it though. All
Yeah.
right. Number 38. I think Cartoon Network is gonna love this episode. 'Cause I'm gonna mention a lot of their classics. Um, Shout out to Kuji. Me and him love this show and everything. It's Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh Lord, y'all
I
actually
know you.
watched that?
Hold on, wait a minute. I know you're not gonna. I know you're not gonna diss this show. You better
I don't
watch
I
your mouth.
don't like none of those shows. Like,
You better
they,
watch your
you,
mouth.
how many shows was on my list from that network? It's like maybe two.
But this was one of the. This is probably my favorite Cartoon Network show. Maybe my first or second favorite. You know, this show ran from 1999 to 2002. It pretty much is about a dog named Courage who was adopted by this lady named Mario, but he sees a lot of this weird shit Oh, and her husband Eustace hates his ass and shit. He says all the weird shit like talking cats, like foot ain't talking feet and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ironically, Hanna Barbera they actually did the pilot of this show, and that pilot actually got nominated for an Academy Award, but it lost to Wallace and Gromit, a close shave. I feel like this show definitely was the right mixture of dark and black comedy and surreal. A lot of people said they were always scared of this show. Me, I'm a thug. I'm not scared of nothing, low key. You know what I'm saying? So I used to watch the show, laugh at the show all the time and shit. This show was just funny as hell. Like there was this one episode where like they used CGI and they had this motherfucker called King Ramsey. He just kept saying, "Return the slab, or suffer my." Yo, niggas said they were scared of that shit. I never got scared. I loved watching that episode. And then they had this song where he played just a skit on called King Ramsey. King Ramsey's cause like if y'all know that episode, y'all will know what I'm talking about and shit, you know? So yeah. I might do a review on the show one day, yo. Yeah, you're gonna watch that show one stop it,
Get the
stop.
fuck out of here. I mean, shit. I don't remember like the Adult Swim stuff to me was better. Like it was better programming when they did that whole Adult Swim thing. I don't remember watching anything on like the Cartoon Network stuff that they had was like the reruns of shit that I watched when I was little. But as far as like the newest shit, it was like when they had Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost and what's the other show? Robot Chicken, like all the Adult Swim shit. Like that was those shit that I enjoyed for like a couple years. But the actual Cartoon Network shit, it was like reruns of like Yogi Bear and shit.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you about that.
But when they had like Samurai Jack and Samurai Jack was part of Adult Swim, right?
On the last season it was.
Okay. Yeah. Um. We're 38. 38 is Tom and Jerry, the OG Tom and Jerry show. Cat and mouse adventures, and definitely enjoyed it. I actually liked the Tom and Jerry movie was actually good. The live action one that came out. When was that? Like a couple years ago.
I like that one too.
And they had like the hip hop soundtrack with Tribe Called Quest was on that, and they had Jodeci on that soundtrack, and soundtrack was really dope for that movie. And that's a movie that they actually got right with the live action and then the animation. But yeah, there's that the OG show was classic, a great show.
Honestly, that Tom and Jerry movie that released a couple years ago is way better than the Tom and Jerry
Yeah,
movie in 1992.
yeah, definitely. But
I
I didn't see the '92 one, but I know like when they tried to do like the live action mixed with the animation, it wasn't good.
yeah, because that Tom and Jerry movie when they were talking and stuff like that, I think they had
Mhm.
Richard Klein, whatever his name was. I was like, come on, man. I have nothing against Richard Klein, but give me Tom and Jerry. The Tom and Jerry movie from a couple years ago got the formula right, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't want to see Tom and Jerry with Willy Wonka. I don't want to see Tom and Jerry in the Wizard of Oz. I don't want to see none of that bullshit. All right, number 37. This is the cartoon I did not like at first, but over the years I came to respect it as an important stepping stone in animation, and that's Futurama.
I
Or
didn't like that either.
I call it the cartoon that never dies. That's what I call
That they should have canceled that a long time ago.
it. Because it ran on Fox from 1999 to 2003. Then it ran on Comedy Central from 2008 to 2013, and now Hulu, yes, Hulu picked it up, and it's running from 2023 to the present. And mind you, Fox did not treat this show well because just like how Nickelodeon was SpongeBob obsessed, Fox was Simpsons obsessed, and they wanted, and this was made by Matt Groening, the dude that made The Simpsons, and they wanted him to do a Simpsons like kind of show. He's like, nah, nigga, I'm gonna do
Nah,
something. I'm gonna do some science fiction deep shit. You know what I'm saying? And Fox was always shuffling the time slot with this show plenty of times. So the story with Freakazoid is there was this pizza delivery named Fry who pretty much got frozen to death. He got no, he fell into like some pod and he was frozen. And this was after the white after midnight on January 1st, 2000. And when he wakes up, he's in the year 2999 and stuff like that too. And he's just living in the future and shit. You had Katie Seagal, aka Peg Bundy, who voiced Leela. You know, you had fucking Fry, Fry voiced by Billy West, one of the best voice actors of all time. Bender voiced by John DiMaggio. Billy West also voices the professor too. You know, I mean, the reason why I didn't like the show at first, I don't know. I think it went over my head when I was little. But like, shout out to Aisha. You know, she put me on this show, and I was laughing. I kind of prefer maybe. I think the Comedy Central run was maybe the most best run. I haven't watched too much of the Fox run, but one day I'll definitely watch it. But I wanted to put this really here just for a stepping stone in animation. I haven't really watched a lot of the Hulu run though. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on that. Hulu would just be fucking up a lot of animation shows. Like
Yeah, for real. Speaking of Matt Groening, what is the whole thing I was seeing about they killed Marge Simpson off of the show?
they didn't kill off Mar. They did a future episode. You know them future episodes of
So
The
when
Simpsons.
so when did this episode air? Because I thought the Simpsons season doesn't start till like November.
They said it was a season finale and some
But
shit.
when was the season finale though?
I don't even know. I didn't watch I didn't watch this shit.
So
But
since when they have a Simpsons season finale in June?
because I think they had a delay in the seasons, because I guess all the strikes and stuff like that, you know.
Right.
They didn't kill off no Marge. They just making a big deal out of nothing.
They had a future scene where she's like dead and she's dead at the funeral.
Man, the Simpsons have been the same ages for 30 years and shit like that. They do these future episodes just to storytelling. They ain't killing off no Marge, man. Like these motherfuckers just making a big deal out of nothing.
That's crazy. Okay. Number 37, I got the Snorks. Now the Snorks was like
I
an
hate that.
underwater version of the Smurfs. They basically had like their own little world, but they were underwater. They had like different characters, and I only remember like maybe one or two characters. The main character was All Star. He was like one of the main Snorks in the show, and they had a toy line and everything. It was basically like the same people like Hanna Barbera that did Yogi and all that. They did the Snorks, and they were just underwater.
See, this is why it'd be hard defending Hanna Barbera to eight because how you gonna rip off Smurfs when Smurfs was still running? I hated the Snorks,
Yeah,
man.
and they came on the same. They came on Saturday mornings on the same network as the Smurfs on
What's wrong
NBC.
with the Snorks? Dance around with us. Come on, man. What the fuck? What the fuck am I watching, man? What the fuck is a snork? At least the Smurfs are charming. What the fuck is a snork? Get the fuck out of here.
They tried. They tried to be like the Smurfs, and it didn't work.
But you get mad at me for watching Courage, but you watch Snorks?
Yeah, this is when I was 4 years old, man. We didn't have a choice back then. It was like we watched what was on TV. We didn't have like no streaming and shit, but like how it is
Shit.
now. There was no cable back then. We
Alright,
didn't have no Adult Swim and all that.
alright. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you, man. You know I'm fucking with you. Alright, so number 36. This is yo, Kids WB and Cartoon Network. This is all my childhood right here. You know what I'm saying? Batman motherfucking Beyond. Yes.
Mm.
Oh yes. Come on. That
Didn't we do
review.
a review on this?
Not this one, not yet. We did the animated series, but this one's
Right.
coming. Oh boy. Batman, where do I even begin with this show? Where do I even begin? This show is like a futuristic Batman. First of all, let me show y'all how they got my man Batman looking. Let me show you how they got Batman looking in this show. Like that all, I'm gonna show y'all later, but that all black Batman shit, man. Oh my god, yo, whoever did the animation for this show, man. Oh my god, they were on some shit right here, boy. But this was like a futuristic Batman right here and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Terry McGillis, who was voiced by the great Will Friedle, aka Eric from motherfucking Boy Meets World. You know what I'm saying? Um, Pretty much he was mentored by Bruce Wayne, voiced by the late great Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace to him. To me, the best Batman in my opinion. I mean, next to Michael Keaton and shit. Yeah, fuck Val Kilmer's Batman. But anyway, yeah, man. Pretty much this Batman was like a more futuristic shit, and the Bruce Wayne he had to retire because in this version he actually I think he got shot or some shit, and he would felt weakened and
Yeah,
stuff. And
he was walking with a cane.
walking with a cane. And Kevin Conroy's performance as Bruce Wayne in this show, call me crazy. This might be I like this Bruce Wayne performance than Batman animated series. That's not this in Batman animated series. I feel like this Bruce Wayne, because you never really imagine Bruce Wayne as old and weak and just tired of it all and stuff like that too. But at the same time, his chemistry with Will Friedle's character was what really made the show. And they did have a movie called like Return of the Joker. Oh, and they had a spinoff, which I never even knew they had a spinoff till like 2 years ago called the Zeta Project
Oh
and
wow,
stuff like that too. I mean, yo, this Batman and Batman the animated series was two of my favorite Batman cartoons.
yeah,
The Batman from 2001 was okay.
that was
And
good.
yeah, it was cool, but it was like I have to rewatch that.
I
But
like some of the like the movies were better. Like when he faced the Dracula,
yeah,
that one was great.
Batman Brave and Bold. I actually at first when I watched it, I didn't like it, but now it kind of
They
has that 60s Batman feel to it.
and
Mixed with
they're making a movie out of it, like a live action Brave and Bold.
who's going to play the Batman?
They haven't casted him yet,
Oh
so
God,
they're gonna have two Batmans again. They already got Robert Pattinson as the Batman, and they're gonna have another Batman for Brave and Bold.
oh God, man. I'm kind of scared though.
Yeah,
Watch that, like Pete Davidson or some shit. Like,
can you imagine?
oh shit. I cannot wait till we talk about that show one day.
Yeah. The older Batman they actually had. If you watch the Flash movie, they had the older Batman in it. Like they brought back Michael Keaton as an older Batman. They Val Kilmer made a cameo, as his Batman, and Ben Affleck was his Batman in that film.
Right.
Um, where we at? The 36. I got 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. This is like another Scooby Doo spinoff of like the many other Scooby Doo spinoffs that he had, and this one was mainly Scooby and uh wasn't I think Shaggy and Daphne was in it, right?
Yeah, Scrappy and some
And
Indian.
Scrappy, and they were just like, and Vincent Price, the late great Vincent Price, and they were like basically like their own version of Ghostbusters, and it had something to do with like a trunk of like 13 ghosts, and I think Scooby released the ghosts from the trunk, and they had to like chase after all the ghosts that got released from the trunk, whatever. And that came on Saturday mornings on ABC, and it was good. It didn't last. I don't remember it lasting a long time though. Like it was good, but it didn't last a long time.
Yeah, man. That was the darkest Scooby Doo right there.
Yeah. Well, it's more horror. That was like more horror Scooby.
Yeah, it makes sense that Scooby Doo was trying to do their own Ghostbusters and shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my thoughts on that later.
Hmm.
All right, so oh yeah, gonna go back to Cartoon Network again. Number 35, sugar, spice, and everything nice. These are the perfect ingredients to make the perfect little girls, and those are the Powerpuff Girls. The most badass cartoon on Cartoon Network. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. I love the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, I'm a nigga and
Mm.
I fucking love this fucking show. I remember niggas back in the day were saying, "Oh, you love the Powerpuff Girls? Oh, what the fuck? Have you watched the fucking show? Have you seen them little white girls whooping them motherfuckers' asses and shit? Come on, man. All that blood and shit. Come on.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
was like anime with Ren and Stimpy animation mixed in with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles '87. Oh, come on, man. Jesus Christ. But they had a downfall, which we're going to talk about. You know, I'm a fan, but I'm an honest fan though. You know me. All right. So this show ran from 1998 to 2005. You know, it was created by Craig McCracken and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the same dude who made Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. You know what I'm saying? This is about some white man named Professor Utonium. Yes, his name is Utonium. He was making the perfect little sweet girl, but then he actually had a chemical called Chemical X. What's in this Chemical X, nobody knows, and shit like that. And they make the most badass superhero girls. You got Blossom, who was like the leader of the group and shit like that too. The perfect one, voiced by Kathy Cavani. You got Bubbles, the sweet, lovable Bubbles, voiced by Tara Strong. And then you got Buttercup, voiced by E.G. Daily, the tough, badass one. Now, if you guys watched the pilot of the show, the pilot was called Whoop Ass Stew. And and I kid you not, yeah, Whoop Ass Stew. And that shit was probably one of my favorite cartoon pilots ever. Like the show, I feel like what really made this. You said what? You said what?
Nah, no, I ain't seen them.
Uh, I feel like what really made the show, in my opinion, was just like the action and of course the villains, like Mojo Jojo, Fuzzy Lumpkins, the Gang Green Gang, and probably everybody's favorite villain, him, pretty much a demon who has homosexual tendencies and just a creepy ass motherfucker, if you ask me. But this show right here, like I said, the first maybe 3 seasons, classic. The fourth season, they try to do them hour long episodes, not hour, them 30-minute episodes, which in my opinion was kind of like the beginning of the end. But then the last 2 seasons sucked. Fucking what's his name? Stupid ass nigga. Chris Savino, which I'm gonna talk more about him later. Fuck those last shows up and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But Powerpuff Girls, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of these cartoons, like the first 3 seasons, and then after that third season, they just do some stupid shit. I don't know what it is about these shows. Oh, they said three
I,
was supposed to be the magic number, right?
you know. And then they had that terrible live action show that never came out because it was so
Oh,
bad.
and then they had that other reboot, the reboot and shit like
Hmm.
that too. Oh,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
Cartoon Network, oh, stop rebooting your shit.
right. Just leave it alone. 35. I got another Scooby Doo spinoff, the Scoob and Scrappy show. This one was more Scrappy. Scrappy was the star of this one, and I definitely enjoyed it. And Scrappy, what I like about Scrappy was like he was fearless. Like he was going towards the danger when it would be Scoob and Shaggy trying to flee from the danger. And this is just basically more about Scrappy's adventures, but Scoob was always there with them. He was like his mentor, and um it was great. Definitely a great spin-off from the OG Scooby Doo show.
Definitely, definitely. Scrappy, man. What did you think about Scrappy? Let me be honest. When I know
He
you
was
agree.
fearless, like I said.
You said
He
what?
was he was a nice. I used to always think that was Scooby Doo's kid. Like Scooby Doo had a kid, and I used to always look at him like, well, that was Scooby's his dad or whatever. Like what wasn't he like his cousin or some shit?
Scooby was Scrappy's uncle.
His uncle. Okay, yeah, but he was like a nice addition because he wasn't always there. Like he was like added to like the mystery gang later on. But I thought he was like a nice addition to the crew, and they gave him his own adventures because he became popular, and He was like a little mini Scooby that was fearless and he wasn't afraid of anything. And Scooby wasn't that. He was everything that Scooby wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, yeah, I definitely liked his little show.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. I'm just when I talk about Scooby Doo, I'm just gonna put all the Scooby shows together and shit.
Right.
When I talk about Scooby Doo, so
Okay.
yeah. Okay, where we at? Number 34. Okay, we almost there, y'all. Disney coming back, and this might be Disney's answer to Batman the animated series, Gargoyles.
Oh wow.
Yes, I love this show again. Again, this was ran from 94 to 97. Well, 94 to 96 on syndication, but then ABC picked the show, I think, for that last season, which I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, man. This show right here was just amazing. Again, imagine this show on Kingdom Hearts. Like, how is Frozen, a Kingdom Hearts stage before Darkwing Duck and Gargoyle? I don't understand this shit. I don't understand. Like, come on, y'all, man. Come on, man. But yeah, this show right here was very great, very grimy and stuff like that too. Just tells the story about New York City, how it's being overrun by gargoyles and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, very, very, very dope show. The first two seasons on the Disney Afternoon was definitely some of the best animation that they've ever had in that time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But then when Disney by ABC, that final season when they called it the Goliath Chronicles and everything, they pretty much tried to change the whole format of the show, try to make it a bit more lighter and some shit like that too. I mean, it was still kind of dark a little bit, but it was like you can tell it was off because Disney buying ABC was such a controversial moment in entertainment, which I might do a video on that one day. Because a lot of shows, like even when we did Family Matters and stuff like that, they try to
Mm.
fuck up that TGIF lineup and stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a different day. But yeah, Gargoyles definitely a favorite of mine. And I know I said I was going to do a review on this show, but I'm gonna be real with you. I have to really analyze this show because there's a lot of complex things on this show. To be real with you,
I tried watching that show. I couldn't get into it though. You know what I mean? Maybe I felt like the gargoyles wasn't menacing enough. You
Eh,
know, I don't
it's
know. I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it.
it's a very interesting show to get into. It's not the typical
Yeah,
Disney show at that time.
yeah.
Thank God it's not.
That's a show that could use a remake.
No, no,
No, you
no,
wouldn't want them to do it over,
no.
make it more menacing.
I'm tired. I'm tired of remakes. I'm just tired. I'm tired of remakes.
Yeah, but they could do it right though. You know what I'm saying? It can be done.
No, no,
No,
no. Now, if it's the movie, yes, I will stand by a movie, but with the same voice actors if y'all can
right?
find it. But no,
Uh,
I don't want a remake show. No.
okay. Um, 34 got Woody Woodpecker. Another one, very
Uh,
young. I remember watching this with the Woody the Woodpecker and I forgot his damn characters that he had with him. He had a bunch of characters with him. I forgot all of them though. But
I want to kill that bastard sometimes.
yeah, that was one of those afternoon weekday shows on Fox. You know, and that I think that used to come on like 2 o'clock or 2:30 in the afternoon, and then it would be Popeye would come on after that, and then they would have their lineup of like Thundercats and Silverhawks, and you know what I mean. So that Woody really started that whole lineup, you know, every afternoon, and you know he was good for his time.
Something about that stupid motherfucker got on my nerves,
I
man.
like the OG. Didn't they have a live action movie for him too?
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I remember not wanting to see it, but the OG tune was cool.
I feel you. So now I'm about to give y'all my favorite Disney Channel show. I like this more than the Proud Family, believe it or not. And y'all gonna be surprised with this one. It's Kim Possible. I
I
know.
remember her, Kim Possible.
Motherfuckers like this nigga got Powerpuff goes in Kim Possible. What the fuck?
I
Like,
remember. I remember
hey,
that. I remember
hey,
that film.
I love Kim Possible, man. This was my show back in the day. This show ran in 2002 to 2007. Superhero crime fighter. She has a best friend, later on boyfriend named Ron Stoppable. This nigga named Ron Stoppable, Kim Possible. Okay, okay, writers. All right, all right. And Ron has a naked mole rat named Rufus as a little sidekick, just to have that Disney formula. This show is. You know what I liked about this show?
Mhm.
It wasn't dark. It was a superhero show, but everyone knew this girl was a superhero and stuff like that. It's not those, oh, I gotta keep my identity a secret and stuff like that kind of show, which we all tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And this was a teenage girl whooping ass and everything. This girl was doing some Mulan martial arts kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? The villains. Oh my god, this might be some of the best villains since like Batman the animated series. Like you got my nigga fucking Dr. Dragon, Shigo, Senior, Junior, Monkey Fist. Man, this show was crazy. I love this fucking show. Christy Carlson Romano voiced Kim Possible. We all know her as Ren from Even Stevens. Wilfredo, my man Wilfredo was Ron Stoppable as well too. Taj Mowry was in the show. He was Wade and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the voice cast was good. My favorite season was like season two, season three. Season four was okay. I remember when I first watched season four, I didn't like because they paired Kim and Ron together, and it was like they were like a crime fighting duo. It was like they were trying to mix the romance with the crime fight. But now I look back, I kind of like season four now, but for different reasons. They had a couple of good movies, some specials. Don't watch the live action movie. That's all I'm going to say because they made Kim Possible a fucking pussy in that movie. But hey, you know this is This is classic Disney right here. Yeah, man. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, I got a Darkwing Duck at
Yeah,
33. Great show on Disney. And came on Saturday mornings as well as the weekday afternoons with that epic Disney lineup. And yeah, it was great. Like you mentioned, definitely one of my favorites.
definitely. Now, if you guys remember last year for Halloween, for my number 32 pick, I dressed up like this cartoon character for Halloween. And it's probably my favorite costume is fucking Freakazoid. Yes, for
Mm.
number 32, super genius extraordinaire, Freakazoid, running around in his underwear, Freakazoid, man. Steven Spielberg again. Steven Spielberg cartoons, man. Like these cartoons were they were on some goat level of some writing and some characters and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? This show went for two seasons from 95 to 97. This show is about a 16-year-old boy named Dexter who pretty much becomes a superhero named Freakazoid. And Freakazoid is not your usual superhero. He's like a fucking troll. Like, just mix Animaniacs with Inspector Gadget. And that's what you get with Freakazoid and stuff like that, too. You know what I'm saying? And just like with Animaniacs, they relied on a lot of fourth wall breaking, slapstick parodies, and stuff like that too. Um, so Kids WB didn't really know how to really promote this show because it wasn't really like a lot of shows at the time. Mind you, they really put this show like 7:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, and stuff like that too. It fits more like a 10 a.m. show if you ask me. But there was supposed to have been a third season of the show, but the WB they felt like the show was too expensive, and there was talks they would try to bring it to Cartoon Network because at that time Cartoon Network was running the show on syndication too, but they just left it the way it is, and Freakazoid became a cult classic hero. You know what I'm saying? Freakazoid.
All right. 32. I got the Jetsons, futuristic show with George Jetson and Judy Jetson and Elroy Jetson, and a very different show from the Flintstones, where Flintstones were like more like in the Stone Age, Jetsons were in the future, and they even did a
Right.
movie together, Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, which was great, and I enjoyed it. We had George always getting into trouble with Mr. Spacely. You know, I feel like a lot of the things on that tune, like AI, is preparing us now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And robots. They had the robot maid or whatever, and that's gonna happen eventually. We're gonna have like now I don't want to say maids, but like people like imagine robots that's babysitting your kids when you're at work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or robots that's bringing your Uber order instead of humans. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like that's gonna happen anyway. So it's just like that was like a foretelling, like them very ahead of his time cartoon, and it was a classic cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, I'm actually going to talk about Justin in this episode too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so number 31, controversial choice. You know what I'm saying? Is the silly symphonies slash Disney shorts, like the Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck shorts, all them shorts.
Is
You know what I'm
is
saying?
that the one where they would have like the rock and roll?
The what?
They would have like the rock and roll songs with the shorts.
Um, I think they did it in like some of the future shorts and shit. I think.
Okay. Yeah, cause they would have like on the Disney Channel they would have they would play like a couple of second like shorts of like Mickey Mouse or Donald. They would add like rock and roll songs to them.
Oh, I think I know what. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like way back in the day. Way back in the day.
I'll count that too. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, this was pretty much like ran from like 1929 to 1939, and of course the Disney shorts from the 40s, 50s, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you had the first appearance of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy. Controversial opinion: the Mickey Mouse cartoons, like towards like the 40s, 50s, were kind of boring and stuff like that too. I kind of prefer the Donald and Goofy. The Goofy cartoons for the 50s though, 40s and 50s, when he
Mm.
was like the everyday man. Oh my god, some of the best animation you'll ever see and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But Mickey has some dope cartoons too. Hell, even Pluto has some solo cartoons. How you let your own dog outshine your ass and
Right.
shit?
Pluto was more popular than him.
Right, like to me, Mickey. I like Mickey Mouse shit like from the 80s onward. Like when he was like Mickey's
Yeah,
Christmas Carol,
I
the
love
Prince,
that. A
the Prince,
classic.
yeah, the Prince, the Papa, and
Yeah.
stuff like that too.
Fantasia.
Oh my, yeah, Fantasia, yes, House of
Yeah.
Mouse, you
Yeah.
know.
House of Mouse was dope. Yeah.
But I never really put the Disney cartoons on the same level as like Looney Tunes or like Tom and Jerry. Stay tuned on those on why, because I feel like they focus more on
But,
kids, whereas Looney Tunes was like more for kids and adults too, mostly adults.
well, I don't feel like they didn't have like a an actual animated show for those characters. It was more like you would see them in movies or in shorts, and that
Yeah,
was it. Whereas the Bugs had his own show. You know what I'm saying? When you watching Looney Tunes, you're gonna see Bugs and Daffy and Elmer and Yosemite and Wally Coyote. You know what I'm saying? Roadrunner. So they like Mickey and Goofy and them. They didn't have like their own long running animated show like Looney Tunes,
true.
and they could
That's
have easily did that. But for whatever reason, they wanted to go the other route and just make the movies and the shorts for them.
more marketing. Yeah.
And they were more like merchandise when on all the merchandise, the mugs and the shirts and the Mickey ears. That was their bread and butter.
Well, there's a reason for that because
Oh,
from what I looked up, Walt Disney was very particular about syndicating a lot of those Disney shorts, and that's why a lot of those Disney shorts went to syndication like years like after he died and stuff like that too.
right,
And you know, most of they'll play like on like the Disney Channel or like
right,
very copyrighted material and shit like that too.
yeah.
You know,
Like
where
like they were on. They had like their own VHS tapes. Like they had like
yeah,
Mickey had his own VHS tape and Goofy and
yeah,
Pluto in them.
or like they'll play a lot of those shorts before the actual Disney movies and stuff like that too. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of those stories you have to watch in the theaters and stuff like that. They didn't come in TV. It's like the 50s and the 60s, where they
Right.
would have to reanimate shit because they want to make it more kid friendly.
Even now, like you don't see them no more. Like you don't see them in. They don't have like movies for them or animated.
Well,
Anything for them.
actually, Mickey Mouse did kind of have that wonderful world of Mickey Mouse shows, them black and white shows on Disney Plus.
Right.
Yo, some of the most craziest Mickey Mouse. That's the Mickey Mouse the black and white Mickey Mouse. That's the Mickey Mouse I fuck with.
That's the one you like.
When he was more savage and just a fucking menace and shit.
See,
Like color.
I grew up on the full color Mickey, so I don't the black and white stuff was just like boring to me.
See, full color Mickey was cool, but he was more like a straight man, more of like
Mhm.
goody two shows, like Pluto,
Right.
like
Right.
like give me the black and white Mickey where he was just trying to be a fucking menace and some shit. Like hell, fucking Donald Duck had the more consistent cartoons. Like you could put Donald in any scenario and it'll be a comedy gold and shit.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Pluto.
Um. 31. I got Yogi Bear. Uh. To me, Yogi was like the face of Hanna Barbera,
Yeah,
and him and his sidekick Boo Boo, and they got into many adventures, and you had the park ranger. I forgot the park ranger's name. Park ranger was in it, and you had Yogi and his friends, the Quick Draw McGraw, and you know the what's the hound, Huckleberry Hound, and
yeah,
all them cats. All them cats was funny.
yeah, man. Yogi was my nigga.
Yeah.
Now number 30. Now I didn't really do a lot of Nickelodeon shows. I did like I did do a couple of Nickelodeon shows, but this next show right here, boy. Hey Arnold, come on, man. Come on, man. You know I gotta mention my boy Arnold. You know, y'all know I got the soundtrack to the show to the jazz score soundtrack. Y'all know I know about my Hey Arnold and shit. That football head motherfucker and shit, you know. This show ran from 1996 to 2004. It shows about a boy named Arnold who lives with his grandparents in his boarding house. He's pretty much a holy conscience helping out his friends. He's like a fucking Jesus and some shit.
Wow.
He has a black best friend named Gerald. He has a girl named Helga who's a bully but who's also in love with him and some shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this show was very, very, very dope. I love this show and everything like that too. Once again, Nickelodeon fucked the show up because
Mhm.
it was supposed to have had two movies, a TV movie and a theatrical movie. So the theatrical movie, the Hey Arnold, the movie, that was supposed to have been the TV movie. Because the original movie was the Jungle movie was supposed to find out what happened to Arnold's parents, but Nickelodeon, they felt that was going to be a bit too mature. So they shoved that movie for years and stuff like that. It wasn't finally released until 2016. And I love that fucking movie. That was a nice wrap up to the movie and stuff like that too. Helga G. Pataki, one of the greatest cartoon characters ever, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a Nicktoon I love a lot. I this y'all say SpongeBob, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, man. I feel like Hey Arnold tops them all and shit.
All right. 30. Number 30. We got Heathcliff.
Hey,
One of my other favorites that came on WB back in the day, and just a great show. Um, he had friends with him too. I forgot the name of all of them motherfuckers, but Heathcliff he was like more of the street cat compared to Garfield. Garfield was more of the home cat who
right.
loved his lasagna and he loved to sleep, but Heathcliff got into all type of trouble. You know what I'm saying? He would fight, and he had one of his friends was like a mechanic. He was always like fixing stuff in the junkyard, and yeah, I loved Heathcliff, man. That was a good cartoon.
Yeah, Heathcliff was that dude though.
Yeah.
All right. I think Cartoon Network might, owe me some royalties for mentioning a lot of this shit. I'm gonna mention another Cartoon Network show next. This was a show that was the show that put Cartoon Network on the map in terms of original programming. It's Dexter's Laboratory. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Classic show. But I only like the first two seasons and shit. Again, that stupid motherfucker Savino ruined Chris Savino ruined the whole fucking show. But this show it was about a boy named Dexter who's a boy genius, as he likes to describe himself, and he has a secret laboratory in his house. And the only person that knows about it is his sister Dee Dee, who pretty much ruins all of his inventions. Again, this show was Hanna Barbera and Cartoon Network and stuff like that. Pretty much, it was created by Jetty Tartakovsky, and I love the show because it was so fast paced with this pop culture reference, adult humor. It had a good mixture of science fiction and stuff like that too. It's like Dexter getting his all some shit, always getting himself to some shit. You know what I'm saying? So the last two seasons sucked. The animation was horrible. I don't recommend it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Speaking of the other cat, I got Garfield and Friends. Like I mentioned, he was like a part of the culture back then with Charlie Brown and Snoopy, and definitely a great cartoon. And I forgot his friends too. He had like other friends also. It was like Garfield and Friends, and they had like their own shows on there. And you had Odie the dog, and good show.
Definitely. All right.
Ray
Since
Sean,
we're
Ray
like,
Sean got his own list. He got Sonic X at number 30.
yeah, he been sending me his list too.
You Ray
I'm
Sean, you need to be a part of this because you do animation.
But I didn't think of that shit too.
Yeah. He does cartoons. He should have been a part of this. The maybe like you could do like his top 25 when we do like the last part.
Facts, facts. Yeah, man. Because I know I kept pushing this list back a lot too, so that's probably on me. But since we're like 9 minutes out, I'm just gonna save my last three and just give it really fast and some shit.
Yeah.
Um, Number 28, Johnny Quest. You know what I'm saying? Hanna Barbera show. I'm mostly gonna talk about the 60s version of Johnny 60s and the 90s version of Johnny Quest because the 80s version was pretty much certain shows that they try to censor and stuff like that too. Very dope show. This is a show I liked much later on in my animation journey and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this show is kind of action packed, grimy, everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Johnny Quest. That's my number 28. Number 27, like you mentioned, the Jetsons, another Hanna Barbera show right here. You know what I'm saying? This show ran from 1962 to 1963, and it came back in the 80s from 85 to 87. You know what I'm saying? The Jetsons, definitely another one of my favorites and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This is like the futuristic Flintstones, but I kind of feel like the Flintstones was futuristic because it's more apocalyptic, but that's another story for a different day. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation yet. But yeah, man, this show is very fun, very laid back, very feel good, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I kind of prefer the 60s version. The 80s version, I like the 80s version and stuff like that too. But the 60s version, that's
Mhm.
the just I liked because it was more adult with its humor and
Right.
shit. And the final episode is the final show is Pinky and the Brain. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? That's a classic show. The Pinky and the Brain. My grandpa loved this show too. You know what I'm saying? That's how much the show was dope and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very funny show that ran on the WB from 1995 to 1999. This was a spinoff of Animaniacs and stuff like that. Very dope show. Pinky and the Brain was like one of the best cartoon duos of all time. Then they had the spinoff Pinky Brain and Elmira, which it was okay. I like Cree Summer voice Elmira because she voiced Elmira from Tiny Toon. So anything with Cree Summer, I'm really gonna like this shit. So that's my number 26.
so 28. I got Captain N and the Game Master. Now this was a new character that you could say he was like the poster boy for Nintendo at that time because Nintendo was so huge. It was like the best game system, at that time in the 80s, and when they were doing like the Nintendo licensed cartoons like Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. They came up with this idea for Captain N, and he never had his own game on the system, but he was like the mascot for the game system, and you know, it was basically like an hour of Nintendo cartoons. You had Super Mario, you had Super Mario 3, the adventures in when once Mario 3 came out and that blew up, and they had that cartoon version for that. They had Legend of Zelda, and it incorporated different characters from popular Nintendo games. Like they had King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch Out. They had Simon from Castlevania that was a part of that show as well, and they had Kid Icarus was a part of that. I think Mega Man was a part of that also.
Yeah,
But it was a great show. It came on Saturday mornings on NBC for a couple years. Definitely enjoyed it. One of my favorites. In 27, I got Teen Wolf. Michael J. Fox had two hit movies out in the 80s, Back to the Future and Teen Wolf. And he had the cartoons to go with the movies, both on CBS on Saturday mornings. Teen Wolf I liked more than the Back to the Future a cartoon. And it had the characters from that movie, him and his friend Styles, and it was great. It was definitely a great cartoon for a couple years, and I enjoyed that. And 26, we got Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, one of my favorites from that epic Disney afternoon lineup with DuckTales and Tailspin, and then later on Darkwing Duck. But Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, great show. They also had a Nintendo game as well that came out around that time, and classic classic Disney.
definitely. All right, so yeah, we barely made 2 hours and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So very, very, very dope picks. Are you free this Sunday midnight? Max midnight?
I might not be home this weekend. Gonna be busy. I'm going to Rock the Bells on Saturday.
Okay.
Sunday, I'm supposed to be going out also again on Sunday. I know Dame. Shout out to Back to the Lab. He's flying in tomorrow for Rock the Bells, and I'm looking to link up with him before he leaves New York. So might not be home on Sunday either.
So you want to just do this next Thursday then?
Yeah, we could do it next Thursday.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. All right, y'all. So next Thursday, because I'm off next Thursday, I'll let you know what time next Thursday works for me. We're
Yeah,
gonna do the final part of our top 25 cartoons and shit like that. Definitely looking forward for that. Um, Also, stay tuned for some more dope content and shit like that too. Appreciate this try as usual.
all
And
right.
I'll see you motherfuckers later. Peace.
Peace.
Subscribe to both of our shit.